A verb expresses an action or a state of being. Every sentence should have a verb. Take these two sentences for instance. Both sentences have a subject and a verb. But in the first sentence, the verb takes an object, whereas in the second sentence, the verb has no object. Now, what if we remove the object from the first sentence? The sentence does not make sense anymore. On the other hand, even without an object, the second sentence makes complete sense. A verb that takes an object is called a transitive verb, whereas a verb that has no object is called an intransitive verb. Let's learn about transitive and intransitive verbs. Let's look at a few rules for identifying and using transitive and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb has both a subject and an object. The subject of a sentence tells us what or whom the sentence is about. The subject is usually the doer of the action. An object is the person or thing affected by the action of the subject of the verb. Let us look at some examples. Remember, to find the object, ask the question what or whom to the verb. You should get the object as the answer to the question. Now that we have reviewed what a subject and an object are, let's understand what a transitive verb is. A transitive verb shows an action that passes over from the subject to the object. The trans in transitive can be thus understood as the transfer or passing over of the action. Here are a few more examples of transitive verbs. Note that each sentence has a subject and an object. An intransitive verb does not employ an object. For example, this sentence is complete even without an object. Thus, the verb smiled here is an intransitive verb. Similarly, this sentence contains an adverb but no object. Thus, the verb ran is an intransitive verb. Now, in this sentence, some may think that the noun grass is the object because if we ask the question, what did Joseph run on? We get the answer, grass. But that's not correct. We should ask the question, what, to the verb in the sentence. In this case, we do not get any answer. So the verb is an intransitive verb. Now let's look at this sentence. Here, letters do not perform any action, and thus the verb does not have any object. Such a verb is also an intransitive verb. Here are a few more examples of intransitive verbs. Some verbs can be either transitive or intransitive depending on the usage. For example, notice that the verb here is the same in both sentences. Yet, in the first sentence, there is an object and so plays is a transitive verb. The second sentence has no object and so here the verb plays is an intransitive verb. Here are a few more examples of how the same verbs can be used transitively or intransitively. Some transitive and intransitive verbs require a word or a phrase to complete or improve the meaning of the sentence. For example, this sentence has a subject, a transitive verb, and an object. Yet, the meaning of the sentence is not clear. So, some words need to be added to improve the meaning of the sentence. Such a word or phrase that completes or improves the meaning of the sentence is called a complement. Similarly, the verb in this sentence is an intransitive verb because it has no object. However, if there is no word or phrase after the intransitive verb in this sentence, the meaning is not complete. So, to complete the meaning of this sentence, a complement is added. Notice that the complement does not answer the question, what, but may follow an intransitive verb to complete the meaning of the sentence. Here are a few examples of complements. The complement of a transitive verb defines or modifies the object. For instance, in this sentence, the complement in the oven tells us something about the object cakes. Such a complement is known as an objective complement. Notice that an objective complement is generally placed after the object. Here are some more examples of objective complements. The complement of an intransitive verb defines or refers to the subject. For example, in this sentence, the complement cheerful girl helps describe the subject Sarah. A complement that tells us something about the subject is called a subjective complement. Note that a subjective complement generally follows the intransitive verb. Notice that the subjective complements describe the subjects in each of these sentences.